What's going on, people? Welcome back to JABULANI XI and welcome to a very special episode of the Ideal Prospect. Once again, I am joined by the main man, football journalist Anthony. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Exciting week. Obviously, for you guys that have been following, you realize we didn't drop an episode last week, so we had to bring to you a special one this week. And the Champions League final is tomorrow. It's the last game of the season before the Euros, and we thought, why not put together our team of the season, African edition, of course. This is going to be a controversial one. But yeah, before we get into it, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment as we go along. And we might bring one of your comments up on the screen as we're recording. So yeah, let's get into it. I think it's been a great season for African players this year, especially for the forwards. We've had loads of goals, we've had records broken, and I'm just extremely happy to see that even with the women's side, you know, we had the Women's Champions League final, and everything's just been brilliant this season. Credit to the players as well, because you know it's been a difficult year. Obviously, I think it's the first season after COVID, and there hasn't been many games where fans have been allowed in stadiums and stuff like that. So credit to the players for just, you know, soldiering on, busy schedules and all of that. So yeah, before we actually get into the teams though, I want to know your thought process when you're picking your players. Do you take the league into consideration? Do you take trophy wins, maybe individual awards? What's your thought process when you're choosing your players?
For me, it's the thing I look at even when I'm scouting like European players is consistency, and how they've performed over the course of the season. And you know, there's players where you know they've just steamrolled during the season, and just getting goals, assists, and contributions, and you know helping the team out a lot. And that's I think that's, you know, that's the main thing, the main characteristic I look at when I'm picking my team. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of consistency for 100%, and that's why I kind of don't consider the league as much. Of course, you want to put players like in the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, or Europe's top 5 into consideration. Like they should be kind of the first names on the sheet. But when you look at other players in other leagues and you look at the consistency and the numbers that they're doing, you know, that was pivotal to why I picked certain players and why certain players didn't make it into my starting 11. But let's get right into it. So first of all, we're going to look at our agreed selection. So these are the players that are in both my XI and Anthony's XI. And as you can see, there are some blank spaces where we both have different players in those positions. It's going to be a controversial one, but let's start from the back. Why did you put Edouard Mendy in your team?
Wow. Do I even need to say a lot about Mendy? You know, he's been tremendous. Even before Tuchel came in, he was doing really well for Lampard. He's getting clean sheets. The saves he was pulling off were really good, because you know, if I can remember, Chelsea weren't that good defensively before Tuchel came in, and you know. But the saves Mendy was pulling off, and I'm thinking, you know, when he came into Chelsea, I was thinking, who is this guy, man? This tall lanky guy. Like, what's he doing here? And the thing is, you know, as soon as, you know, that first few games he played, I was thinking, okay, this guy's an assured keeper. You know, he's dominant in the air. You know, he's demanding of his players. Like even the first few games, I'm thinking he's already instructing the Chelsea defenders what to do and all that stuff. I'm thinking, okay, I like this. I like this. And then when Tuchel came in, he's improved massively, and we know that the record he's had already. And also, I just found out this morning that he's the first black goalkeeper to feature in the Champions League final since was it AC Milan's keeper in 2007. What's his name? Is it Dida?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So it's a massive achievement. He's achieved so much in the space of how many months? Not even a year. So he was a definite shoo-in for the team of the season, definitely.
And it's good that you brought up that stat, because that even relates to Kirk's comment here. Shout out Kirk. He said Mendy is a simple choice, record breaker, and he's literally been doing bits since he come in. And one thing I love about him is the fact that there was so much stereotypes and so much pressure about him. Do you know what I mean? Like even you saying, you know, like who's this lanky guy coming in? Like, you know what I mean? You know, black goalkeepers in Europe are not necessarily respected. You know, we have goalkeepers like Onana, or obviously in the past we've had goalkeepers like Enyema. But I feel like this Mendy moving to Chelsea was a huge turning point for black and African goalkeepers. You know, he's the 4th African goalkeeper to play in the Premier League. You know, most clean sheets by an African goalkeeper in the Premier League. The 2nd African goalkeeper to play and keep a clean sheet in a Champions League semi-final. And tomorrow, if he starts, he'll be the first African goalkeeper to play in a Champions League final. So, you know, incredible season, and by all means, he deserves a place in this starting 11 for sure. Let's move on to the next position quickly. Obviously, at right back, we put in Hakimi.
Tremendous.
He played the majority of his season at right mid, but I don't think he would have warranted a place over Salah. Hence why we just put him in his natural position where we've known him, where he's played there from his Dortmund days and even sometimes in his Madrid days. Thoughts on Hakimi this season?
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And he's been everything Conte has wanted in that right wing back position. You know, he's fast, he's quick, he's got surreal energy, man. The energy is just crazy. And the thing is, what's so good about him? We know Inter Milan have got Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, Nicolo Barella, where they have energy from all sorts. But Hakimi is his pace and his directness is just infectious. And much of Inter Milan's counterattacks have been through his speed on the right hand side. You know, every team like Inter, like a Inter or AC or big. Every team needs an outlet on the wide positions, and Hakimi has been just that for Inter Milan. And you know, a lot of people forget how tough the wing back position is. You know, it's even tougher than being a fullback. You know what I mean? You've got to do everything, both defend and attack. And Hakimi has just been brilliant. I think he's got 8 assists and 7 goals or something like that this season, which is brilliant. Unbelievable.
And obviously he's helped Inter Milan to their first Serie A title in 11 years. I actually couldn't believe that stat, you know. That's how crazy and that's how dominant Juve have been over the past decade or so. Let's move on to the centre backs. 𝗙𝗪𝗏, Bayer Leverkusen from Burkina Faso, I believe. He obviously got into the Bundesliga team of the season, which I thought was fantastic. You don't really see, Bayer Leverkusen challenging for the top 2, top 3 spots, but they are up there in those European places, and I think like he's been a massive addition for them. And he's also attracting a lot of interest from UK clubs like Arsenal. But, Arsenal's always in for everyone, but anyways, but he's attracting interest. What's your thoughts been on 𝗙𝗪𝗏? What is it that impresses you about him?
He's a dominant centre back. I've watched Bayer Leverkusen a few times, and he's so assured on the ball, man. The way nowadays in the modern game, every manager expects a centre back to be authoritative on the ball, to bring the ball out, pass it. No longer these days. We no longer have players like Maldini or Cannavaro where they just want to defend. I just want to defend. Nowadays a centre back's got to be very good in possession. 𝗙𝗪𝗏's he's been brilliant, and he's so good at that, and I think that's why so many UK clubs are in for him, because especially bringing the ball out from the back. He can even when he's under pressure, he can hold off a man. He's got strength, he's got agility, his legs are just too lanky. He can get past people easily for a centre back, and that's impressive.
Another centre back that obviously got into our team that we both agreed with was William Troost-Ekong. Now, William Troost-Ekong is a player that I was so excited about when he came to England, because he was playing at Udinese in Serie A, and I thought, this guy's too good. He needs to get a move. And you got to respect a player that leaves a top league to go to like a second tier league in any country, really. But I feel like the Championship is probably the best second tier league in Europe, for sure. And in his first season, he was able to help Watford gain promotion, which is absolutely excellent. And he's going to be playing in the Premier League next season, so that's a massive, massive step.
Yeah.
I think a couple of stats on William 𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗏. He kept 17 clean sheets in the 32 league games he featured in. You know, and I think Watford in general, they set a new club record for the fewest goals conceded in the Championship season. So you know, you can see the impact he's had in that team. What's your thoughts been on 𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗏 this season?
Yeah, he's been really good. The thing is, what's impressed me about Watford as a whole, and he's been a vital part of that, is that you know, they struggled a bit during the early stage of the season, and people thought, okay, are Watford really going to be in with a shout of getting back in the Premier League? And you know, people thought, okay, Brentford are going to be thereabouts, Norwich and Swansea and all that stuff. People thinking, okay, Watford aren't, you know, this isn't the season for them to get back. But then as soon as they appointed their new manager, I forgot his name. He's Spanish. He came from Spain.
I'll double check that one.
Yeah. So yeah, as soon as he came in, you know, he trusted 𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗏 to lead the back line, and he's done just that. And which is further shown in the clean sheets, you know. So you know, he's been really good, and hopefully next season he's gonna have a big season for Watford.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully, he needs to do well. Obviously, we will get into the left back later on, because obviously me and Anthony have picked a different choice for that. But let's go straight into the midfield, bro. Standout CDM, centre mid, whatever you want to call him. He's everywhere. Yves Bissouma, talk to me, bro. I'm just gonna let you flow, because this guy, for me, I think he's been the standout player in the team.
Yeah, he's been tremendous this season. What a season! Especially for Brighton, you know, who play you know, a very attractive game, and he's a vital part of that. You know, the way he brings the ball out from the back. You know, he's the way he's a leader as well. He's a silent leader in that team. You know, it's not just his performances on the pitch. You know, he's a big part of that team in terms of the characters. You know, if you saw after the Arsenal game, you know, the way he was laughing about the Arsenal players and Pepe and all that stuff.
Why you got to bring that up? Why you got to bring that up?
You know, it just goes to show what sort of guy he is. You know, and if he can bring that to the table more, when he does eventually move to a bigger club, you know, he's gonna be a top player.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you're making sense, because he's attracting strong interest from top clubs. You know, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Arsenal. They're all interested in the guy, and I don't blame them. You know, I think there was one stat that he had in the league this season. The only player to make 100+ tackles and 50+ interceptions in the Premier League this season. That is incredible. That is incredible. And we have to give him his props, and he deserves a place in that starting 11 for sure. Let's move on to the next player that we both agreed on, and that was Mohamed Salah. I feel like Salah's had a very up and down season, but he's produced 22 goals in the league. Honestly, is absurd, bro. It doesn't make any sense. He almost nicked his third golden boot and just missed out on the last day, because obviously Spurs came from behind against Leicester and won that game, and Kane managed to nick it up. But to get 22 goals in the league where Liverpool have been struggling, I think this hasn't been Klopp's worst season, because obviously when he came, he had a really bad team. But I think this has been the most shocking season for Klopp. I don't think he expected this at all. You know, another stat on Salah there, he's tied with Adebayor as Africa's second highest goal scorer in Premier League history with 97 goals. So that puts him 7 behind Drogba's record. For me, that's a top season, whether he's finished with a trophy or not, whether he's finished with a golden boot or not. I think that's a top season. What's your thoughts, bro?
To be honest, if I'm gonna be honest with you, for me personally, Salah isn't my type of winger. If I'm being honest, he isn't my cup of tea. But I've got to praise him for the unreal numbers he pulls up every single season. And the thing is, what's so special about him is if we've seen him back in the day at Roma and FC Basel, people are thinking, oh, he looks a good player, but I don't think he's gonna get to the top. You know what I mean? Every single season, people saying that. Even at Chelsea, you know, he's a good player, but is he gonna get there?
He's defined every year.
Yeah, he's reached it. He's proved his doubters wrong every single season. To get 22 goals in what's been a tough season for Liverpool is unreal. It's unreal. He deserves a round of applause, definitely.
For sure, and I honestly believe if Liverpool can, get some more recruitments in next season and just deal with those positions where they were lacking, intensity, I reckon Salah's gonna have a great season. I reckon he can gun for that third golden boot. That's if Kane doesn't go play for City. For sure. But lastly, the last one that we both agreed on was this guy. Yeah, he's another one that's had an up and down season, but in the past 6 months, the start of 2021, he's been incredible. He's been non-stop. He's been a standout player in 2021 for me. I don't think anyone has performed as well as him. And that man is Kelechi Iheanacho, first player in history to score a goal on all 7 days of the week in the same Premier League season.
Wow.
He's now the highest scoring African player in FA Cup history with 14 goals, passing Drogba. And of course, he's got a trophy to testify that record with. The FA Cup win at Wembley, massive. But before I let you speak on Iheanacho, he almost didn't make it into my team. I can't lie to you. He almost didn't make it into my team, and the only reason why he made it in was because of the FA Cup win, in my opinion. Yeah. Because when I tried to build a team of the season, I like to look across the whole season. Who has been the most consistent throughout the season and deserves a place, and he was only good for the past 6 months, and luckily it's resulted in him getting a trophy. If you look at other players like Simi, who scored 20 plus Serie A goals in a team that got relegated.
Yes.
For me, that's massive. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like he deserves a place in there now that he's got the FA Cup trophy with him, and even on top of that, it's been a massive season for Nigerian players in general. But what are your thoughts on Kelechi, bro?
Yeah, bro, you said everything. To be honest, the stats are there for everyone to see. Incredible past 6 months, and I think Iheanacho has made giant strides in his career. Because we know how tough it was for him, even before this year. Getting into the team. Let's be honest. No one's gonna take Jamie Vardy's place. Unless he's injured. And even if Vardy was injured, people will still say, is Iheanacho good enough to lead the line for us? And it's stuff like that makes you think, wow, he's been incredible. And a huge credit has got to be given to Brendan Rodgers in his development, because as we said when we covered him a couple of weeks ago, he's been given that arm around the shoulder, and all players need that. They need the confidence. They need even the teammates. I've seen great support from Maddison, the likes of Johnny Evans. They believe that he can be, that he can lead the line with Vardy and after Vardy. I mean? Yeah. And why not? Why not? So, he's been incredible these past 6 months, and hats off to him, man.
No, honestly, bro, I mean, I've been impressed, and hopefully he can carry that form into next season, and then obviously leading on to the Africa Cup of Nations. But yeah, let's get into our teams now. So these are the players that we've obviously decided. So we've gone through the agreed selection, and now these are the players that weren't in the agreed selection. So let's see how different our teams are. We're gonna start off with yours, bro. Cool. So I feel like you went for a 4-2-3-1 formation. Yeah. So talk me through your team, bro. Let's start at left back. You went for Ola Aina. And obviously I went for somebody different. But why did you go for Ola?
Yeah, he's been really good for Fulham this season, if I'm being honest with you. Because he's not only played at fullback, I think he did a stint at defensive mid, if I can remember. And he was assured, man. He's good on the ball. He's quick. He's strong. There's so many times this season where I've seen him hedge, even the biggest guys. You know what I mean? So he's a very good player, and you can see why Parker played him in almost every game Fulham had this season, because he he brings about that belief in him. He kind of justifies the faith in him. Every game he applies himself. Every game he's always putting his all in. And of course, Fulham didn't. It was unfortunate Fulham didn't. Beat relegation. But he's had a tremendous season for them. I think he's got to be one of their players of the season.
Do you reckon he should, try and force a move away from Torino? Because obviously he's on loan at Fulham. Would you see him maybe going to play in the Championship for a season and hopefully try and help Fulham get promoted?
To be honest, he can go to the Premier League again. He can have another season in the Premier League. I don't think, if Torino can loan, a player as good as he is away, I don't think they want it. That doesn't inspire any confidence for me. So if he's got to move away, he's got to move away. I think he could do another season in the Premier League, definitely. Teams like Newcastle, teams like Villa, anyone in the mid-table can do with him, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you. Let's go to your midfield. You decided to go for another player alongside Bissouma, Franck Kessie, who's had a brilliant season for AC Milan. But explain why you put him in your team.
Yeah, man, I've watched a lot of AC Milan this season in Serie A. They have been impeccable. They missed out on the title. They fell off a bit in January, February. But Kessie is his levels have just been unreal. Consistency, even the way he takes his penalties, it makes me laugh, man. He takes so long to take his penalties, man. Just go up there and just shoot the ball. But he's got to be extra. But he's a reliable performer in that Milan team. I mean, even when they dropped off in Jan, February, he was the player that stood out for me. Every game, he's putting in tackles. He's driving Milan up the pitch, and people can say Calhanoglu has been AC Milan's best player, but for me, Kessie has been a standout player, and over the course of the season, and that's what I look for initially, and Kessie's been that player.
Cool. Let's move on to the left midfielder, bro. You decided to go for Simi. He's been impressive. I don't know, I never heard of him before this season, and then I'm just seeing stats everywhere. Like this guy's just scoring this amount of goals, or he's the first Nigerian to do this, or first Nigerian to do that. He's done well, but unluckily Crotone obviously got relegated this season. But I'm not sure what the exact figure is, but I think he scored 20+ goals for them this season in the league. He's been impressive, bro. To do that for a team that's been relegated is crazy. I'm pretty sure you don't have to say much to why you put him in your team.
Yeah, you just said it. You're matching the likes of Lukaku and Vlahovic for top scorers in the season, and playing for a relegated team. I mean that you've got to be some player if you're doing that. I think a move will be good for him, because I don't. He's too good for Serie A second division. I mean Serie B. He's too good for that.
He'll be cheap as well.
Yeah. So he's been a brilliant player this season.
In Cam, you went for a player that we obviously spoke about very early on in our ideal prospect days. Your guy, Michael Olise. Come on, I'm just gonna let you run with it because I know you appreciate this guy a lot. Yeah,
man. I love players that are pleasing on the eye, man. Can thread a through ball. Could do the unexpected, could do the extraordinary, and Olise he's a very good player. I mean, he had double figures for assists for Reading this season, even though unluckily they didn't make the playoffs. But he's been tremendous over the course of the season, and as I said, man, he's got to be in the Premier League next season. I'm hoping someone's scouting him right now and bringing him to the Premier League next season, because I want to see this guy in the Premier League. It's too good for the Championship, honestly.
I hear you, bro. For sure. It would be brilliant to see him in there, and it would be even more brilliant to see him play for Nigeria at AFCON. But we'll leave that. Leave that one for another day. Talk me through your honourable mentions very quickly. There's some players in your honourable mentions that actually made my starting 11. So talk me through your honourable mentions.
Yeah, Sandaka, need I say more about him? For RB Salzburg, been tremendous. Hit more than 20 goals this season. And what I like about him, you don't see it often in strikers not there. He's ridiculously quick, man. He's an athlete.
He's quick.
He's not only like a striker that can put the ball, but he is an athlete. My goodness. The way he presses, and on Salzburg on the Jesse Marsch, they play this exciting brand of football where as soon as they lose the ball, they got to win it back within 6 seconds. And Daka, he's been a vital part of that philosophy. And he's, as I said, he's an athlete, unreal player. Terem Moffi as well. He's done well. 15 goals in Ligue 1, which is impressive. Even for a team that's mid-table or languishing just above the relegation places. I've been impressed with him. Another quick player, Onuachu.
Top player.
His record's unreal. His record speaks for itself. For one of Belgium's top teams, he was a shoo-in. He was a shoo-in for my honorable mention. He could have been in my starting lineup, but he has to be mentioned. And Enesiri, unreal player. Because if I'm being honest with you, at the start of the season, I'm thinking, who is this guy, man? He's not even good enough. Because I'm one of a big fan of Sevilla as a club, and I wanted to see them take that next step, and which they have this season, and which Enesiri has been a big part of. But at the start of the season, I was thinking, okay, this guy, man, he every time that he'll have five chances to score only one of them. You know what I mean? But to improve like he has over the past few months, I think how many goals in the league? 17 or 18 goals?
I think it's about 18. It is 18. Yeah,
18, which is brilliant. You're amongst the likes of Messi, Karim Benzema for top scorers in La Liga. You've got to be given an honourable mention. He's been fantastic this season. Silas as well. I've been impressed with him. He's a young player. Stuttgart have got a number of young players, good young players. And he's been a stand-up player. He's named Bundesliga Rookie of the Year, which is very impressive. And if we know how many young players are balling right now in Bundesliga, for you to be nominated and to be given that award is an impressive feat. He's been very good this season. I think it's amongst their top scorers as well. So very, very happy for him.
For sure, bro. For sure. Let's move on to my team of the season. Obviously, there's a few players that, of course, as we said from the start, that are in my team that went in Anthony's team. So let's take a look at what I did differently. So I went for a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. And at left back, I actually had to go for Ronaldo Mandamba.
Yes.
He obviously got into the League One team of the season, but what really impressed me about him was the fact that Lille won the league by 1 point, and they only suffered 3 defeats this season. So he's definitely played a pivotal part in that, and the reasons why they were able to concede like not that many goals. They still went ahead against a strong PSG side, even though PSG, people say that PSG didn't live up to potential this season. It was still tough. It was still tough to just edge past them, and they've done really well. The first Mozambique player to win any of Europe's top 5 leagues. So I feel like for me, he had to be in that squad. Of course, different to you, I only went for one midfielder, one CDM, which is Basuma, which we both agreed should be in that squad for sure. But on the left-hand side, I actually went for Patson Daka. I felt like Patson Daka deserved a place in the team. 27 goals this season. Austrian Bundesliga Player of the Season, top goal scorer in the league this season. The first Zambian to win the Golden Boot in any European league.
Wow.
This guy is 22 years old, bro.
Wow.
He's 22 years old.
And also, apparently West Ham won him.
West Ham won him.
Which is... I hope that happens. I really do. I hope West Ham gets it.
That would be a very good signing for them. Very good signing. And Salzburg have a history of producing great young players who have gone on to other leagues to do well. You can look at Haaland, for example. He's doing brilliantly. So, I would love him. I would love Daka to come to the Premier League for sure. For sure. I think that would be a very, very good signing.
Yeah.
In Cam, this is the player, bro. I was saying to you off air, I'm surprised you did not even mention. You did not even give him an honorable mention.
That's
Riyad Mahrez.
That was a bit criminal for me.
That's very criminal for me.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't even need to say anymore. Let me just keep silent.
All right, Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, I feel like he has been an essential player for Pep this season, more than ever. The end of last season, there was even talks about him leaving because he was just getting benched. You could even see sometimes when he was on the bench, he just looks frustrated, or getting subbed off. Like he just looks frustrated. For him to go from that to being to being a regular, he's improved vastly. Premier League and League Cup winner, and obviously has the chance tomorrow to win the Champions League. If he wins the Champions League, he'll be only the second Algerian to do so. So which is crazy. I think only Didier Drogba is the only African player with more Premier League titles than him.
Yeah.
So he deserves a space in that team for me. And obviously we can talk about his brace that he scored in the Champions League semi-final to send City to the final. Yeah. So he's been pivotal for them. I feel like if he wasn't playing, City may not have had the same success this year. Every single player in that team has played their part for sure, and they've all been essential. But Riyad Mahrez, he's really stood out this year, and I hope he can just continue, man. Yeah, he can just continue going into next season. And yeah, obviously up top we went for Iheanacho together as well. But yeah, before we actually end the show, I wanted to know who your breakout star of the year was. Obviously, we had a lot of African players doing well this year. Who's been your breakout star?
That is a tough question. I wasn't expecting that. That is a tough question. I know people will expect me to say Alicia, and let me go for Alicia. Let me go for Alicia.
All right. I think I would have to agree with you there. Obviously, won the young player of the season in the championship. So yeah, for sure, I think Alicia is the breakout star of the year. Who's your most improved? Would you say most improved?
That's a tough one out of Iheanacho and Bissouma. But let me go for Iheanacho in that he led Leicester to the FA Cup. Most improved definitely Iheanacho.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Bissouma. I think I'm gonna go for Bissouma. The reason why is because I feel like this is the best I've ever seen him play. I feel like we've seen glimpses of Iheanacho doing well, and he just needed to have the confidence to do it consistently. But Bissouma, I've never seen him play like this before. So I think I'll give it to Bissouma, most improved. But credit to 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗥𝗬, he's done brilliant this season. And lastly, who do you think the signing of the season's been?
Signing of the season.
I think for me, I'm definitely gonna go for Edouard Mendy. First season at Chelsea to break that many records is incredible. And I don't want Chelsea to win a second European title, I can't lie, but if Edouard Mendy can get his hands on that trophy, I'll be very happy for him.
Yeah, very, very, very happy. I mean, he's one of the main reasons why I want Chelsea to win it, if I'm being honest. So Are you
sure that's the main reason?
One of.
I just think you don't want to see City winning that, innit?
No. If I'm being fair, I would like Guardiola to win the Champions League for City, but the thought of City winning it after what happened on Wednesday, it will hurt. So
I feel you.
You know what I mean? But yeah, with Mendy, I have to agree, he's been super brilliant goalkeeper. Incredible.
For sure. And lastly, just to end the show, what's your predictions for the Champions League final, bro? Like, on paper, who do you think's got this?
As much as I don't want City to win it, I think they've got to win it. I think they've got to win it. And if you saw the recent interview he did with Rio, people are gonna Guardiola said that people shouldn't expect City to be winning European trophies, but considering how how much hurt they've had over the course of each of the past few seasons.
Yeah,
I think they've got to be. I think they've got to win it tomorrow. As much as I want Chelsea to win it, I think City have got to win it.
yeah. No, I have to agree with you. I think on paper, City have to get the job done tomorrow. And plus, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see Chelsea lift the second European title. So please, City, just do the job. Mendy, we can do it another year. Don't worry. And yeah, as for this season, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the episode, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, a comment as well. Comment below if you disagree with some of our selections. Is there a player that you think deserved to get into the starting 11 that didn't? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel as well and put on all post notifications so that you know whenever we post during the week. We will actually post our team of the season at some point during the next week and a half or so on Twitter and our Instagram. So make sure you follow JABULANI XI on both Twitter and Instagram. Kirk will also post his team of the season on there too, so you can check out his one as well. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. God bless.